How you doing there, guys? Today we're going to talk about a very serious topic for immigration, and that is the Stokes interview. People are always asking me, what does that mean, the Stokes interview? Well, when I went through the marriage process with my wife, there was a guy who was there, and his wife were there, and they were telling me all about the Stokes interview. This was like 5 years ago, so I was very curious about that, so I did my own research, of course, to find out what that is all about. Now, overall, only about 10 to 12% of your interviews will go into a Stokes interview. So, what does that mean? What that means is that doing your regular interview, right, your regular green card marriage interview, if your answers and your wife's answers are so apart, so distant, where it doesn't make sense to the interviewer, the officer, right? They will then stop you there and they'll engage they will say, we're going to do a Stokes interview in a future time. So, what that means is that it's bad news in a way because it means they have what they would say a valid suspicion of fraud in your marriage or a fraudulent marriage. Now, if you're watching this video because you're trying to play games or get by the Stokes interview because you're in a fraudulent marriage, I am not here for you. You can turn my channel off because I'm not here to help people do fraudulent things via marriage. That's not what I'm here for, so turn me off if that's what you're here for. Okay, for the rest of you that are here to understand about the Stokes interview, if you're getting called into a Stokes interview, it is because they think that something you said or your wife said or did not say is cause for fraudulence. Say of their questions, of their 12 questions or 15 questions, one third of them don't align together, right? They just don't match. Birthdays are off. Places where you guys have been before. Who sleeps on what side of the bed? Who has what for breakfast? Birthdays are wrong. Things like that can stop a normal interview and go into a stopped interview and go into a Stokes interview, which will take place in a future date. So this isn't always bad, you guys. It just means that sometimes there's just things that don't align correctly for the officer. They need to investigate because that's their job. They're there to make sure that things are not fraudulent, and that's what they do. So, what happens in a Stokes interview? Well, what happens first of all in the green card interview? You guys are together. You're there as a team, correct? Together, answering the questions, supporting each other, so on and so forth, right? In a Stokes interview, you are separated because they're going to ask each of you. It could be up to 90 or 100 questions if they want. They're going to ask you individually, and they're going to have on their computer when they're talking to you, your side and her side, and they're going to go down this list of questions that they're asking each of you regarding this, the questions that a normal married couple should know about each other. But a Stokes interview is much more in depth. A regular green card marriage interview, mine was only 12 questions, 15 questions. We were very much in line. Ages were very similar, only 3 years apart. We knew a lot about each other, so we passed with only 12 questions because it was obvious we were in love and we were together and we were there to get past this stage and move on with our marriage. So, in a Stokes interview, look, it's nervousness. You're going to be worried, of course, because this person has so much power over you and your future with your wife, right? And if you're at a Stokes interview and you really are married, really are in love with your spouse, it is nerve-wracking. I can understand that. But if someone's asking me 100 questions about my wife, I'm probably not going to know 3 or 4 of them. So if you do not know the answer to some of those questions, it's okay to say, I do not know. Make sure you tell the truth. You know what? That one I don't know. Be honest. It's okay. It's okay. Also, too, and they might ask you for more documents. Bring everything you have. Bring your photos, bring your marriage certificates, Bring everything you got. Some people who go to a Stokes interview are so nervous, they bring an attorney. They bring a lawyer there with them to the interview to make sure that they are covered, basically, in case they don't answer questions correctly. The lawyer can help. Also, too, sometimes the officer might get a little bit overly aggressive while questioning you. If that happens, your lawyer is there. Your lawyer can intervene. If you don't have a lawyer at your Stokes, you can stop the interview yourself and request a supervisor if you feel the questioning officer is going a little bit overboard, a little bit too aggressive, and just kind of, trying to score points. Who knows, right? If you feel that way, you can ask them to stop the interview and get a supervisor. That is your right, okay? Because you have a lot on the line here. A lot on the line. You're really in love with this woman. She's really in love with you. This person who's interviewing you, or maybe interrogation, who's interviewing you can have such a choice on your life. They can make it harder for you, of course, to be together legally, to move on with a future life with this person if they believe you are fraudulent. So also what you want to do, you want to be ready for any kind of question. So really you guys have to go in depth with knowing each other, okay? Because that's what the Stokes does. You can't imagine this. I thought of this too. Like the green card interview is like getting a cut on your hand. The Stokes interview is like going for open heart surgery. They're digging down deep, right? So at the end of a Stokes interview, what happens is that they're either going to give you a letter that says, yep, we believe you guys are the real deal. Sorry for any inconvenience, and you'll be on your merry way. Second thing they can do is ask for more information. Typically, about half of the Stokes interviews wind up with the officer asking for more information. 54% of Stokes interviews that don't make a decision, they wind up with we need more information. RFI, request for more information. At that time, you guys are going to have to go home, dig up more information, maybe show them your joint bank accounts, your joint bank bills, your joint Visa cards, or whatever it takes to prove that you are in love with this lady and she's in love with you. The third thing is this, and this is one that makes you sweat. They can legally think about it, meaning that they're not ready to give you an answer yet on the validity of your marriage, and they can legally wait a matter of time. I'm not even sure anymore how long they can wait, but they can wait for however long they legally are allowed to wait before making a decision. Now, you guys who are married and you're very happy being married and you have a Stokes interview coming up, just practice with your wife. Make sure she practices with you. If English is her second or third or fourth language, like my wife, English is her third language, make sure she understands how to answer the same answer as you in English, okay? Her accent, that's fine. Just make sure she has the right answer as you, okay? Very big deal there. So you guys, that's the Stokes interview. That's what it's all about. I'd appreciate if you guys give me a subscribe. Really would appreciate that. Leave me a comment or any questions you have. If you guys are not sure, you want to ask me something off my channel, you can definitely do that. Mitch's K1 Visa channel at gmail.com. I am here for you to help you out with that kind of stuff. Please ask, I will help you, okay? So you guys, thank you once again for coming to my channel. I really appreciate that. You could be doing anything else, but you came here to my channel, and I appreciate that. So study up for Stokes if that's you. All right, take care. Mitch here. Have a good night.